Yo, this work schedule is crazy. Run me up so this could be my job because I miss this. They not whispering about this at work. Mind you, there's only one other black person indigenous to this country there. It's a huge medical facility. Anywho, this right here is a ruling on a Supreme Court issue that has been going on for years. Clearly, and we've never heard of this, mentioning how in America, if people are born here, such as the term anchor babies, which many Americans are. Let's just be clear. You guys are anchor babies. Could be love, but a lot of times it's not. I don't know how many international marriages last a long time. Maybe someone can help me out on that. Um, so this is on the birthright issue because I always said this about other countries. It's very hard. Like me living abroad, it's very hard for you to be nationalized in other countries. It's not as such so frivolous as in here. So yeah, basically been a free for all for the whole time. And now I guess this ruling came through with Trump, you know, to say that the birthright were the for the babies of the slaves only. Because of course the natives are indigenous, and we can't be deported because if we were deported to somewhere, then all white people would have to leave somewhere in America. So that's just that. Um, So back to saying how hard it is to be naturalized in other countries is extremely hard, and then to be born here. It doesn't take rocket science what's been going on, and then now people are crying about families being separated and things like that. It's because of this things like this also. Um, so I'm hoping instead of separating so much that we could come together as Americans and accept our lineage as Black people here, or just calling us Americans and things like that, or even white people, so-called white people, to open their eyes and say, okay, you might got some black relatives because your, SA or ancestors were monsters. So you have family from that trauma. Maybe addressing things would bring people together. We have less chaos here. I don't know if he's bringing this up because he's trying to make a change and be the best president ever was, or he's trying to make up for him attacking Iran. But let's see what's going on with Agent Orange.
Judges effectively tried to overrule the rightful powers of the president to stop the American people from getting the policies that they voted for in record numbers. It was a grave threat to democracy, frankly, and instead of merely ruling on the immediate cases before them, these judges have attempted to dictate the law for the entire nation. In practice, this meant that if any one of the nearly 700 federal judges disagreed with the policy of a duly elected president of the United States, he or she could block that policy from going into effect, or at least delay it for many years, tie it up in the court system. This was a colossal abuse of power which never occurred in American history prior to recent decades.
A colossal abuse of power and the indoctrination of these immigrants. If you really become friends with them and speak with them with their parents and what their parents teach them, there are also government officials who are letting these people in and indoctrinating them about Black people. That's just a fact. If you're not indoctrinated already from your conquered nations, from the Western world or the Eastern Chinese world, yeah, Jews were not Jews, then you definitely would be within the system of you coming here and those long lines that you have to wait in.
And we've been hit with more nationwide injunctions than were issued in the entire 20th century together. Think of it, more than the entire 20th century, me. I'm grateful to the Supreme Court for stepping in and solving this very, very big and complex problem, and they've made it very simple. I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts, and Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas. Great people. Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant.
That is crazy. How do y'all feel about that? Because a lot of my family, we have a lot of mixed generation within the past couple decades, just like Trump was talking about. So how do we feel about that family on birthright citizenship and it being taken away for foreigners that come here and make anchor babies? Um, Tell me on what y'all think about that. That's a very interesting topic right there. Leave it in the comments. You know how we rocking. We get political here. So this is monumental. I really this is such a time to be alive in, to see this. Even me being well cognate pre-Obama, it's like whew, there's a lot going on. Where the reparations at?
Meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date.
They definitely are coming to come on a vacation, get knocked up or get married, you tú sabes.
At the end of the Civil War, it was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the.
I remember even speaking with African sisters, even from abroad, they would say how, they have the baby in America, then just move back to Nigeria or whatnot, playing the system,
the babies of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing
There's going to be a whole lot of jobs, and these companies are going to finally follow their own law and their own policies and pay what they need to. Black people ain't lazy. We just know what we're worth.
Necessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous.
Yes. Here we go. It did. Still ain't messing with you, bro. Like, you just followed up with the Izzy's and all that. But that is hilarious. We should vote for what is best for us as people and never just be solely loyal to any party. That's a fact. If we think one way, it's really idiotic. Like, oh, us black people should, be democratic or just be Republican. We got money. No, I mean, nah, be what's best, for us as a whole.
Numerous other priorities of the American people.
Black first before anything. Remember that.
We have so many of them. I have a whole list. I'm not going to bore you, and I'm going to have Pam get up and say a few words. But there's really, she could talk as long as she wants because this is a very important decision. This is a decision that covers a tremendous amount of territory. But I want to just thank again the Supreme Court for this ruling. It's a giant. It's a giant. And they should be very proud. And our country should be very proud of the Supreme Court today. And with that, I'd like you to.
I'm not going to lie. It makes sense. It's cutting out a lot of problems, issues, and stereotypes as well. It has been a huge issue in America for quite some time.
Listen to the word.
Bring back the I'm not gonna lie, Dominicans, y'all know how to cut good, but let's bring back the black barbershops, though. You right? We the originators.
There's a Pam Bondi. She's an incredible attorney general. We're very proud of her. And as you know, Todd Blanche is with us, and we have so many others that worked on this case and other cases.
So yeah, I just had to speak on that right there. That is very interesting. What y'all think about that? Is reparations around the corner? Is it coming? What's going on? Can we finally come together as a mass? Can we unify on reparations instead of wondering where these illegal immigrants are going? Can we worry about us first for once? Black people, Americans. Everybody got a state that their ancestors are from. Which naturalized state is your ancestors from? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna need to start changing these flags too. Black light, outro. Thank y'all for coming through.